in the chat. Thank you, Jamie, for recording. So as said, the meeting will be recorded, slides will be shared. Let's get into it. My name is Linde Reus. I will be the moderator today. I'm on the participant engagement team at the UN Global Compact, the Netherlands. With me are some of my colleagues who will also present today. Let's dive into the agenda first. So we'll first give the word to our very own Executive Director, Marij Wagenaar. She will give you a warm welcome, and then we'll dive right into the agenda. We'll cover the 2025 agenda, our programs, our academy updates, events that we're planning for the upcoming year, and then we'll take a look into more of the requirements part. So the invoicing, the communication of progress, which I'm sure is all your favorite part. And of course, we'll leave enough room for a Q&A. So if you have any questions about our programming, content, any engagement opportunities with us, feel free to ask. Today is the chance to really speak to all team members at the same time. And then we'll end with a participant survey, which is our own annual survey. And we would love your feedback on our network and our content. So without further ado, I'm happy to give the floor to Marij.
Well, good morning, and indeed a happy new year. But what a year it is already. We're only a month on our way, and we have already a new U.S. president with, well, far-reaching legislation on its way in whether the Paris Treaty, WHO, taxes on companies. But luckily, we also see some bright spots in the ceasefire in Gaza, which might hopefully will turn into a truce. And in the Netherlands, we have already our first court ruling from Greenpeace against the government. So we're actually in turbulent times, and I think for most of you and most of the companies, 2025 will be the year of the CSRD, whether you reported already last year or you're preparing to report this year, or you have a client or a supply chain that needs to transform into it. I think that would be a very central part of our work this year. But for us, 2025 will also be the 25th commemoration of the start of UN Global Compact. I think many of you know the story of Kofi Annan reaching out from the UN to companies to say, well, if we want to face the challenges of today and tomorrow, we need to work together. Well, that was in 1999. It took a year to get everything together and really start the UN Global Compact. We will celebrate that around June. I think for now, what I would like to emphasize is that it's only a success because there are so many of you engaged, whether you were already engaged from the start. I know we have some companies in the call that were there already from the beginning, but also whether you just joined. I think it's a global journey we're in, and from the 50 pioneers in 2000, we're over 20,000 businesses worldwide and nearly 3,000 non-biz members worldwide. So I think it is good to commemorate. We're not yet there yet. We really have to make some next steps. As we know, the 2030 goals are not yet in sight. We really have to work on that. And as I mentioned, well, the political surrounding is not always as encouraging as we would like. But I think many of you, many companies have shown that the dot on the horizon is clear, and you want to make steps toward those goals. And we're here to help, we're here to encourage, and we're here to make you lead the way. For 2025, this will be, well, some surprises globally, locally, to commemorate those 25 years, to put you as members in the spotlight. I want to give a sneak peek already. Well, next Monday, we will start with our Spotlight series to inspire you. We will do this with our participants. So put a participant in the spotlight in a relevant topic that you think like, okay, this is interesting to hear more about. We'll do that all year. So that's one. The General Assembly will have a special edition to have more on community building, to get to know each other. That will be in June. And in October, we'll have a festive event to connect, learn, and lead in the Dutch network. And we're actually very eager to hear from you, whether you are excited to participate in that. Because if you want to create this together with us, please reach out to me or my colleague Annelieke van Leeuwen. She's very eager to hear whether you want to be as a speaker, to contribute, to have a venue. It could be in all kinds of ways, but we really wanted to make it a joint effort to commemorate those years. And I think this would be like, as a kickoff, we'll dive into what else will be on the agenda. So I will be heading or giving the word back to Linda, but not without mentioning that Linda and Monica are really our first contact for you as participants. As a team, we're very open to all your suggestions. Participant survey could be one of these ways to do it. But also, if you have any other questions, if you want to participate, please reach out to us.
Thank you, Marij. Yeah, definitely. And once again, we'll be sharing a lot of contacts, email addresses, links in this presentation. My colleague Monica will also be sharing some links in the chat. But please rest assured you will be receiving the slides so you can have a look at all, actions, deadlines, and opportunities to engage with us. Thank you, Marij, and we're really looking forward to celebrating our 25th anniversary with you this year. Moving on to all other programs and our 2025 agenda, and I'm happy to give the word to Firas, our lead on climate and early career professionals and our academy. Firas, over to you.
Thank you, Linda. Welcome, everybody. We have very exciting things to share with you that are easy to access online in your own time, beyond what we already offer in person or online with our programs. We always have the Academy right there at your fingertips. And we have exciting news because we're revamping the platform to make it easier for you to use it and for us to use it, of course. With a easier and better user experience, with some smarter functionalities to find the right content that we're looking for, to learn more about a variety of topics. We have, of course, the social and environmental topics, but we'll add more to that because as we start the year, we'll add a EU portal to show more insights and share more insights on the EU legislations and regulations that are coming our way and already with us. So we have a one-stop shop for that online available to our entire network. So make use of that. We'll inform you as soon as everything is online, as we are gradually preparing for this launch very soon. A very big addition to that is that we can also go to the Academy on the go with a very nice user-friendly mobile app. So that'll be exciting that we can always learn using the Academy wherever we are. And last but not least, would love to highlight a few key events that we're spotlighting, a few learnings on the Academy on. One of them is, of course, International Women's Day on the 8th of March, very soon. Then we'll move into Earth Day on the 22nd of April. Of course, we'll have a moment around the World Ocean Day on the 8th of June. And then we also, later in the year, we'll have International Equal Pay Day on the 8th of November and Anti-Corruption Day on the 9th of December. And with regard to that last point, there are new learning modules and courses on the Academy around anti-corruption. So we're moving into a new domain, which we'll elaborate more on very soon. But you can already make use of that functionality right now, as these courses are already on the Academy. Moving on beyond the Academy, we have a lot more to offer with our Accelerator programs. Now, these are the stepping stones into learning more about a variety of topics. There are very practical ways to learn more about a certain topic, to connect with others that are also interested in the topic or working on the topic, and to interact with the right experts. We do that in a hybrid way of online as well as in-person sessions. And we're always open for your input on this to further elaborate on certain topics that are more relevant as we further develop our programs. But our accelerators are the perfect starting point beyond the Academy to really deep dive into one of the topics. To highlight one of them, we have a beautiful program around SG innovation for young professionals, those who are eager to learn more about social or environmental sustainability, but don't have it in their job yet. This is a nice program to dive into the topic, learn more, connect with other companies across the UN Global Compact network, and work on a project for the company itself. So it really connects young talent with the most pressing issues and challenges and opportunities for any business, which is sustainability. So this is a nice program for those who are in their early career period, full of energy, ambition, and brains and hands to bring that all together and really advance sustainability for your organization in a team of 3 or 4 people. So you can make use of that by registering before the 30th of January this year. If you have any questions around this program, please reach out to SDG Innovation at unglobalcompact.nl or to myself. Then we can help you to sign up. Another interesting accelerator program starting very soon is the Climate Ambition Accelerator. There we'll highlight what you need to do and can do to set science-based targets. We start at the very beginning. What is greenhouse gas emissions, inventory, how does this all work, why bother, what does it matter, for who, and then gradually build it up as we proceed to really understanding data around emissions, really with a real life case as well as a use case that you can use if you're still searching for the right data points for your own company. And gradually we work together with Science Based Targets Initiative to really build a better understanding, to really prepare a science-based target plan, including the pitch to higher management, stakeholders, suppliers, customers, partners, to really set ourselves up for success in taking climate action. So if you're interested in that, the registrations will open in April and the program will run between May and October this year. And it's free of charge for all our participants. With that, I'd love to hand over to Jamie to tell us more about the social sustainability programming that we have.
Thank you, Firas, and hi to everyone. It's really great to see so many of you here. So my name is Jamie Holton. I'm the Senior Program Manager focused on the social sustainability side of our programming. And I'm really excited to share with you that we have another round of the Target Gender Equality Accelerator coming up. So this is a training really tailored to help you set concrete targets around improving representation of various genders in all parts of the organization. So not just the top, but also the higher and lower management levels, as well as how you can ensure equal pay for work of equal value. So I know that for many people, social sustainability is a bit hard to set concrete targets for, but actually we've had more than 2,000 participants in the Target Gender Equality programming since the past few years that we've been running it. And over 93% of the companies that join us have concrete targets in place after following this program. So it is definitely something you want to take action on if you care about sustainability Development Goal 5, SDG 5, for gender equality. In addition, who can join? It's a variety of people who tend to join this program. Of course, people who are interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as HR. But we also have broader participants joining from the ESG teams, sustainability teams, CSR, talent acquisition, as well as compliance, because this is also closely tied to Dutch legislation, as well as new upcoming European legislation, as well as people who are interested in the internal or external communication side of things, and many others. So this is not just for HR, but of course, if people are working on this in your HR team, it might be worth sharing this with them. The timeline for this is it will start in July of this year, and then it is ending in February of next year. That seems like a very long program, but we also take account for some of the summer breaks and winter breaks. It's free for you as a UN Global Compact participant. We ask you to sign up for your company with 2 working level representatives and 1 ambassador. So you have 2 people who are actively joining all of the training sessions, and 1 ambassador who is kind of joined from the start to know what is happening during the training and to offer that buy-in, so that by the end of the program, when the working level representatives have an action plan, then the ambassador is able to maybe preach this to your higher management levels or the board to actually make sure that the plan gets implemented. And again, I mentioned it's linked to the European legislation, so it will also cover content for the CSRD, CSDD, the Due Diligence Directive, and also the Pay Transparency Directive, which is about equal pay for equal value of work. So if these are not on your radar yet, please don't sleep on this. It'll be very important for your company very soon. So please indicate your interest through the website and join many of the companies who have joined us in this great programming. And then we go on to the next programming that we offer, which is our peer learning groups. So this is for the companies who maybe have already started working on some of the sustainability topics. Maybe you even have teams working on some of these themes, but you really want to find a space where you can learn more from each other. So this is for, I would say, the more advanced companies who have something to share, things that have been working for you, but also you want to sort of see where other companies are at. Maybe they have insights or practices that you can also benefit from. So this is a great space to do that. And what you will do here is, of course, also be very honest about challenges that you have. It is Chatham House rules, so it all is confidential, but it's a great space to expand your network on these topics and to get more insights. There will be 5 in-person sessions this year where you can focus on various themes. This year we have 3 groups. We'll have one on climate action, one on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, and we'll have one on human rights. So depending on your interest as a company, you can sign up with different colleagues to different groups. Besides just participating in these sessions and learning from each other, you can also become a leader by becoming a co-lead. And what this means is that at the start of the year, you will come together with 2 or 3 companies, and you will decide what the topics of the sessions for this year will be. So here you have a lot of freedom and space to focus on the topics that are most interesting to you, or that maybe you think you can share most about, that you want other companies to learn from. And that way we also say, because you're investing a bit more time and leadership in the program, you can join for free as well. If you're not joining as a co-lead, but just as a participating company, the yearly contribution fee will depend on the size of your company. So if you have more than 250 employees, the costs are 450 euros, excluding BTW or VAT. And if you are a company with less than 250 employees, to make it more accessible, the fee is 250 euros, excluding VAT. And this is, we know it's not a huge contribution, but it's just to make sure that people don't drop out throughout the program. We've noticed that when we offered it for free a few years ago, people thought, oh, well, it's free, I'm not missing something. But really, we want to build that community of peer learning groups where you come back every time and you can maybe share your progress on some of the things you've learned as well. So that is it for the peer learning groups. Application deadline is Valentine's Day, 14th of February. So if you love learning, then sign up before then. And here on the screen, you can also see some topics that were covered last year. But again, the topics that will be covered this year are really up to you. So join and be a part of that experience.
Thank you, Jamie and Firas. Yeah, so once again, the 2 upcoming deadlines are for the SDG Innovation Program for Young Professionals, which is the 30th of January, For the peer learning groups, you have 2 weeks longer to sign up, the 14th of January. For all other programs and accelerators that you've seen, you can already indicate your interest through our website. So you can fill in the form. We will, make sure you get the information once registration's open. You're not bound to any agreements yet, but you can just say, hey, I might be interested in joining this. If you don't want to participate in a full program this year, or maybe your colleagues are doing so, but you're thinking, hey, what's in it for me the upcoming year? We always have some one-off events that we're organizing in 2025. Besides, of course, the Academy that is open to all employees of all participating companies in our network. So focusing on our events, we have many events lined up for you. As Marij already said, we're launching our Spotlight series this year, where we're discovering topics that we may not be exploring in our programming. One of them is the session on Gen AI and human rights, which is taking place upcoming Monday afternoon. So feel free to register if you're interested in that. The day after, we are, concluding our Living Wage series, our webinar series on living wage, focusing on multi-stakeholder engagement. We've already mentioned a couple of times, and I'm sure it's also on your radar, the constantly getting more important European legislative landscape. So that is why last year we joined forces with other European UN Global Compact networks to host webinars on the updates on the regulatory trends within the EU and also at the international level. The next session will be in the 24th of March, and this will take place each quarter. Something different, but just as important, or even more important, is that we're participating in the Night Against Sexual Violence hosted by Plan International. This is in the night. Really, it starts at midnight on 17th of May, so 17th to 18th of May. We're joining for the second time with our UN Global Compact team. And you are most welcome to join our UN Global Compact team and really speak up against, sexual violence, both publicly as in private life. You're more than welcome to join our team. We also encourage you to sign up with your own team of colleagues and walk alongside us upcoming May. Lastly, our SDG flag campaign. Each year, we're raising a flag for the SDGs on the 25th of September. So we encourage you to join many companies, municipalities, governments, and other public sector institutions to really use this as a conversation starter. We'll see quite often that it's a great day also to host internal trainings on sustainability and the SDGs and use this to increase awareness on sustainability within your organization. To stay up to date on our events, please have a look at our website or, of course, read our monthly newspaper. And if you are looking for any ways to collaborate with us, whether that's hosting an event or webinar together, hosting a short workshop, any speakership opportunities, please reach out. We really want to enable and make the best use of the network that we have, the knowledge that we have within our network and within our team. So we're happy to collaborate, as Marij already said at the beginning, with you this upcoming year. I quickly focused on local events, but the UN Global Compact will also be present globally this year. It may not be us in person, but we also have our headquarters and over 70 other UN Global Compact networks that will be participating in these events. We'll be all over the world this year. Of course, we'll be present at the UN General Assembly in New York upcoming September, where also the Private Sector Forum and the Leader Summit will be hosted again. COP30, very important COP is on the agenda in November in Brazil. Someone mentioned already the UN Ocean Day, so we'll also be present at the UN Ocean Conference in Nice in June. And this is next year, because currently the World Economic Forum is taking place in Davos. Next year, we may be a bit too late to ask who is going there this year, so we already want to know for next year if you're planning on traveling to Davos. If you're planning on traveling to any of these destinations, if you're planning on attending these events, please reach out to Monica, who you also saw at the beginning, Monica Pasquale. She is happy to see and communicate with you whether there's any events or roundtables or meetups taking place at these events of the UN Global Compact, where you can either meet other participants, be a speaker, or meet the team. So please reach out via email if you're planning on attending any of these events. I know we've shared a lot of information, so I want to take a quick break and maybe also hear from Monica if there's any pressing questions about our 2025 agenda before we move on to the annual requirements. If not, we'll just go on, and I know we'll schedule some time to answer any remaining questions at the end.
I don't see any questions. I see that, well, what does the code 30 stand for?
Firas, can I direct any COP questions to you?
Definitely, that's the Conference of the Parties. It's the annual United Nations Climate Conference where both governments as companies come together to redefine how we want to move forward on our climate plans. And last year's COP was essential preparation for this year's COP in defining the climate targets on country levels as well as on business levels. So this year's COP is more important than ever to bring both worlds, the public and private sector, together to see how we can reach that 1.5 degree target that we have set together and move, take each one of us take the right responsibility as a country or as a business. So that's the COP 30 conference taking place in Brazil. However, there's also Climate Week in New York in September, so there's more to climate this year.
Thank you. I also saw a few questions about the peer learning groups and whether it's hybrid, virtual, or in person. Jamie, I know you answered in the chat, but maybe you can quickly speak up.
Yeah, sure. So it's a really great question from Pippa about, the peer learning sessions this year. They're scheduled to be in person, and that was based on the feedback from previous years where we did have it hybrid. Some sessions would be in person, some sessions would be virtual, and the participants agreed that the in-person sessions were most valuable to them. So that's why we switched to a fully in-person model. We also think due to the Chatham House rules and the confidential nature sometimes of the conversations, that has been helpful. But it's a very good feedback point that it, of course, does mean that people who are based abroad or maybe are, don't have as much time to travel within the Netherlands, that it is a bit more restrictive. So thank you for that feedback point, and we'll definitely sense check with the people who applied for this year if they would like to switch back to a hybrid model.
Yeah, and maybe good to add, but it's also something we can share in the follow-up emails that our global headquarters will also be hosting a few peer learning groups that will be virtual. We chose to really opt for the in-person and having personal contact and interaction option. I will continue for now, but as I said, we have enough time to cover any other questions at the end. Diving into, you're very excited about all our programs, all our events, the Academy. You're ready to celebrate 25 years of UN Global Compact with us. What are just a few requirements to stay an active member of our network in 2025? So I will quickly go into that. The first and most important is our communication on progress, which is our annual reporting requirement. As we ask companies to be transparent about their progress each year on the 10 principles and the SDGs. The same communication on progress policy applies to 2025 as last year, which means we ask all business participants of our network to submit their COP, their communication on progress, between the 1st of April and the 31st of July. And you can submit your COP through the dashboard, through the participant dashboard, by either submitting our questionnaire or by submitting a sustainability report or your impact report or an integrated annual report. Those are all fine. Please note that also part of this is the statement of continued support by your CEO. This one can be signed digitally, but please make sure you have approval to sign this well in advance. We will share the questionnaire, the COP questionnaire, with you next week. And the questionnaire, we've had this format for the second time last year, and we made only some minor improvements to the questionnaire. So it will be mainly the same. So if you worked on a questionnaire last year, you can use that data and only improve the data for this year. We have taken out a few questions, so I'm sure some of you will be happy about that. We've taken out around 10 questions, so we now have a maximum of 64 questions. And same as last year, if some of the topics are not material to you, you don't have to fill in these questions. Moreover, we took out a few of the quantitative questions, and we offered the opportunity to share also some success stories, some highlights, and some key priorities for you for the upcoming year. So to really show your ambitions, your progress, and your priorities for this year. That will be shared very soon. Same as last year, all companies that joined in the third or the fourth quarter of 2024, they can report in private mode. So to make up for, joining quite late, having to report quite soon, you do have to fill in your report. You can start practicing with it, but you can report in private mode. And this means that none of the external visitors of the website can view your report. It's only accessible to UN Global Compact colleagues. For all others that joined last year, so the first and the second quarter, you do have to submit the full report. If there's any questions, please let me know. Some other great things that we're offering right now is that we are starting to benchmark and to map all the data that we're getting out of the communication of progress. So if you fill in the questionnaire, so this doesn't apply if you're filling in the report, your own report, but if you fill in the questionnaire, we're using that data to visualize the progress of all business participants worldwide. And this data is accessible to all our participants. You can see the COP data visualization on the dashboard. And there you can compare your own progress with peers, with other countries, regions, sectors, and also you can see your year-over-year progress. So as you're, the upcoming years, every year submitting the report, you can see the progress that you've made, and you can compare with others, with peers, with competitors. So we think this is a very valuable tool. We will be sharing the outcomes of the research that we did on the 2024 data on LinkedIn. We've already started doing that. Besides, we are getting the question more and more like, hey, how does our COP compare to, for example, CSRD, CSDD? Same as last year, the COP is a light version of the CSRD. So if you're fully ready to report on CSRD, we're very confident that you can also fill in our COP. If you're preparing for the CSRD, filling in our questionnaire may be a very good preparation or start preparing for your CSRD report. We have mapped the differences between different reporting frameworks with our COP. So you can view that via the link. It's also on our website. You can see the differences and the similarities between the different reporting frameworks. Once again, we'll be sharing a lot of guidance, support, Q&A sessions with you the upcoming months. So if you have any questions, please just reach out to cop@unglobalcompact.nl and we will support you to fill in your report on time. Quickly touching upon the invoicing. So this works a bit different depending on what kind of participant you are within our network. So I'll quickly go over all of them. If you're a non-business or an SME first, so all SMEs, meaning you have a revenue below 50 million USD annually, please verify your annual revenue and financial details such as the right contact point. Please verify the information that we are currently having. You will be receiving an email about this today or tomorrow, but you can also check it through the participant dashboard. We will share then the invoice in February with you for the upcoming year, and the invoice will be based on your annual revenue. For non-business, the rate is always 550 euros excluding VAT. And again, invoices will be shared in February. For larger companies, so anyone above 50 million USD, also a question for you to verify your annual revenue and your financial details. You've also received an email about this at the end of summer, so it may already be in place. But again, if any updating is needed, please inform us or do it through the dashboard. here as well, your contribution fee will be based on your annual revenue, and your invoice will be shared on your annual joining date. Meaning if you joined in September 2021, upcoming September, you will receive the invoice for the full year. Just to make that clear. Lastly, we have our subsidiaries, and please be aware of some upcoming changes. So for 2025, for all existing subsidiaries, meaning their headquarters or their parent company is also a member of the UN Global Compact outside the Netherlands, your contribution fee will be 550 euros, excluding VAT this year, but starting 2026, we'll go to a revenue-based model, and you'll see that model on the right. So depending on your revenue, you will receive a different invoice next year. Just to be aware of that in terms of your budget and your expectations. Again, please check your annual revenue, as it will be very important to determine the height of your contribution next year. Again, check the details through the participant dashboard or reach out to ar@unglobalcompact.nl. That applies to all questions concerning payments, invoices, finances. Please direct all questions to ar@unglobalcompact.nl. And also for subsidiaries, this year your fee will be 550 euros and invoices will be shared in February. Thank you so much for this maybe more boring side of our network, but it is very important also for us to keep growing and offering all the content as the non-profit organization that we are. So your help in making sure that this process goes very smoothly is very much appreciated. Again, I quickly want to ask if there's any more questions about anything that we've covered or didn't cover today. And to my colleagues, if you see a question in the chat that you would like to address, please feel free to unmute yourself.
We have some questions about the COP. They're asking if the dashboard will be updated because they felt that the competitors' comparison was a bit limited. And also,
let's maybe start here if that's okay. So we will make some improvements to the dashboard and also to the platform used to fill in the COP. This will be shared with you soon. If you have any specific feedback, please reach out to me, because we're also a bit tight and dependent on our headquarters, as this is of course a global questionnaire, but I meet up with them regularly and they're really working on improving the platform and the dashboard as best as they can. So any feedback is welcome, but no guarantees can be made. In general, the same functionalities will apply as last year, that multiple people can work on the dashboard at the same time. And we're also making more improvements to the visualization, also as our data set is expanding.
Thank you, Linda. We also have a question about if we had a comparison of how many companies submit the report and how many companies submit the communication on progress. And that will be also in the report that we are gonna release, right?
Yep, so I do have the numbers. Globally, around 72%, top of my head, submitted a questionnaire. So that's actually most. I think it's over 50,000 companies that filled in the questionnaire last year. And these were all companies that joined then, of course, the year before. And this data set will be growing. The sample will grow each year, of course. In the Netherlands, we saw around 66% of people submitted the questionnaire and around 34% submitted the sustainability report. Very important, because I forgot to add that this is the policy for 2025. Decisions on the 2026 policy, so whether it's still possible to submit either the report or the questionnaire, will be made this year. We'll communicate this with you as soon as decision has been made in our headquarters. But the reporting options for next year are not yet decided on. So this is only for 2025. We'll of course update you as soon as we know more on the 2026. I also saw something around the non-business reporting. So for all non-businesses that are joining the UN Global Compact, we ask you to reflect on the collaboration between your organization and the UN Global Compact and your own efforts on sustainability every 2 years. So it's a biannual report, and the deadline is also your joining date. So if your company joined in June 2023, then upcoming June 2025, you will have to submit your communication on engagement. You will receive a reminder for this if we have you listed as a contact point, but make sure that you do submit this report every 2 years to prevent being delisted.
Thank you, Linda. We have a question for Firas. When will the European portal for the Academy be available and how will it look like?
Good question. As we're preparing to launch the new Academy platform, we're aiming for the second half of this quarter. So just to make promises that we can keep, with technology, you never know, and launching new platforms. So we'll inform you as soon as it's live, but we're aiming for the end of February, early March at the latest. But if we launch earlier, we will definitely keep you updated.
Yes, and good to add is you can already take a sneak peek. So there were already some videos on the portal from European members of European Parliament that are explaining information about CSRD, CSDDD, and the Equal Pay Transparency Directive. Jamie is correcting me in her mind. So you can already take a sneak peek, but the full launch is indeed scheduled to be later this quarter. Thank you so much for being so active within the chats. Monica, please give me a hand here. Which question needs to be answered first?
We have, I think, the question more addressed to Jamie. Will there be a session on the DMA under the CSRD?
Okay, so a session on the double materiality assessment that is due under the CSRD. I think it's a great idea. I think the topic of double materiality assessments, what's required under the CSRD and the CSDDD, that will be available in the EU portal on the Academy. Of course, if there's more interest in having, say, a webinar or an event or anything else that you would like us to host here in the Netherlands, outside of that, then please let us know. I'm very happy to collaborate and to hear what your needs are there. We have been in contact with plenty of our companies in our network that have been doing double materiality assessments and have been doing stakeholder engagement. So we're always exploring, how can we contribute? How can we help? And of course, if we can be of more assistance, please let us know.
Yeah, and Renee, oh, yeah, sorry, I saw a message. We did host a similar session last year, especially for SMEs and the CSRD, and also diving into the double materiality assessment. Good morning. Please reach out to me in person. I can share the slides with you. We didn't record the session to make sure everyone felt comfortable speaking up, but we do have the slides, which I'm sure will already help you. So feel free to send me a message and I will share those with you. And hi, Cecilia. Yes, the PowerPoint presentation of this session will definitely be shared with you. And feel free to share it with colleagues. We know we have great context with some of you within the company, but especially if you're a larger company, we would really like to see how we can help spread the message about the UN Global Compact, our content, our resources also wider within the company. The Academy is a great tool for this, as it's open to all colleagues of a company. So Firas can assist you there, but similarly, you can share, the newsletter, other programs, events that we're hosting. So if you're the only one working on the UN Global Compact within your company, you think it may be interesting for other departments, other colleagues, please feel free to share these slides or just, introduce us, and we're happy to see how we can help there. And Monica shared a link where if you're interested in joining some of the programs that the registrations are not yet open for, such as the Target Gender Equality and the Climate Ambition Program, you can just sign up, leave your name in the form, and we'll make sure to reach out to you once registrations are open. And indeed, for 2026, the COP policy is still to be determined, so we will inform you as soon as possible. If there's no questions for now, please feel free to write any other questions you still have, but I want to close this session with sharing our participant survey with you. As you hopefully saw, you're hopefully excited about, we have a lot of things planned for you, but we really welcome your feedback on our network, on our content, on our offerings. So please take no more than 5 minutes. You can do it now or after the session to leave your feedback about the network. Any ideas, any things that you would maybe like to see improved, please leave them in the survey, and we really welcome all valuable feedback. Either one or multiple contacts from your company or organization can fill in the survey, so you can do it from a personal note or on behalf of your company. And we really use the feedback to improve our network this year and next year. It should take no more than 5 minutes to fill in, and we'll also reflect on this later in the year. So thank you so much for leaving your feedback. Of course, this will also be shared in a follow-up email. And Monica, thank you, has shared the link to the survey also in the chat. If you're not that big of a fan of QR codes or your phone doesn't seem to work. I'm looking also at my other colleagues, Jamie, Viras, Marij. Is there anything else we had to share?
No, just excited to see many of you engaging in our programs and our events, and so much stuff is happening. So I'm sure we'll be in touch very soon.
Same here. Really looking forward to seeing you.
Great. I see one last question. I'm not sure it's been answered, but Marij, maybe I can ask you the question, put you on the spot here. You mentioned, of course, our new US president and the first steps that he already set in, made. It's a question from Ilya about how the US intending to leave the Paris Agreement will impact progress and activities from the UN Global Compact.
Yeah, well, it will impact, well, what's happening in the world anyhow. So I think, yes, there will be an impact. I don't think there will be a direct link to our activities. I think in these times it's more important than ever that companies keep track. I see a lot of companies saying like, okay, we have this dot on the horizon and we're moving this way, but it will be in another setting, and how that will work out, well, I cannot foresee yet, but it just as Viras mentioned, the COP in Brazil will be very important this year, because there it's also, we can see how the rest of the world is responding. And if signs are not false, China will really step up to lead that effort. And that's, well, that will change the perspective as well. But for our work for this year, no big changes yet. But I think we all have to find out how the new reality will conflict us or will affect us. Hope that is clear enough, Ilya. And back to you, Linda.
Our mission, our goal, our hard work will definitely stay the same, and maybe we'll push even harder now that politics may not be in our favor, but obviously we need also your support for that. I saw a last question, and it may also link to the participant survey. Someone asked for any platform, whether that's Slack or any other channel, to share and interact more with our participants. I think that's a great idea. And I think in general, our priority for 2025 is to really foster the connections that can be made within our network. Details will have to we'll have to give that some thought, what the best channel would be, what the most fitting format would be. But please, if you would like to see this, let us know or write it in the participant survey, because we would establish this for you. And if this is something you would like to use, please let us know. In general, we always offer the option to introduce people to each other within our network, right? So we really want to be that hub within the network, making sure we connect everyone to exchange best practices, get inspired, get support from one another. This is really our main goal as the network that we are. Thank you so much, everyone, for the session today. It was really great to see some familiar faces, some new names, whether you're a very long member already for a long period in our network, whether you were perhaps one of the the companies that founded the UN Global Compact in the year 2000, or whether you're right here to celebrate the 25th anniversary as a first-time member. We really value your participation, your active engagement within our network. So we really look forward to working with you upcoming year, whether that's on the Academy online or whether that's in one of our programs, whether it's meeting you at our events or just having a chat. Please, use the UN Global Compact, use our resources this year. We're very confident and satisfied with all the content that we're offering this year. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And then I would just wish you a very good day today, and we'll speak soon. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Wishing
you.
you a great day.